Hello, we're coming at you here, recorded with our screen cast-o-matic. We're trying something new here. I'm Greg Sumner from Northfield Public Schools, and I have Carl Peter on the line here. Can you say hi to our audience?
Yep, Carl Peter Hammer having technical difficulties with my own internet coming from the Stone Brow Educational District.
We're hoping to do a little iPad show here today. We're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to show a couple of apps. Well, I was just setting this up, and it's kind of fun. I had to figure out how to make it record, so I thought about the environment, Carl Peter. I was thinking, what do I have in my environment already that I could use to do this program? What does the set mean again? I forgot. What is that? I can't remember.
Student, environment, task, and tools.
So I thought, what is in my environment already? Before I start going out and asking my director to spend some more money on me, I thought, let me see what I got. So I looked around, and Jing, that only had 5 minutes of time, and I looked at Screencast-O-Matic 15 minutes, so I thought that'll work for me. Let's try it out. So we're going to see if this works today. The student issue we're going to have today, going with the set definition again, we're going to stick with task. I'm not going to tell you about the diagnosis, the name, or any of that, but I'm just going to tell you about some of the tasks that he's having troubles with. This student can't stay focused very easily. They have difficulty with transitions. It just seems too sudden. As soon as you tell them they need to leave, they kind of have a really hard time and really fall apart. And this person also needs a lot of visuals. So that's kind of going to be the theme of what I'm going to show you for some apps today. How's that sound, Carl Peter?
Sounds good.
Good. Do you have any other tasks that are similar to what I just talked about? Any things that you've seen in your district that are kind of like that?
Students, or I didn't quite hear. Did you say students or apps?
Yeah, students, kind of like, the issue of transition or just timers, things like that. That's what I'm going to be talking about with the tools. So I'm just kind of winging it here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's quite a few students that, in one form or another, transitions are a problem. And so I'm excited to hear about some of your apps that will address that, or hope to address it.
There we go. All right, I'm going to take a station identification here. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at the student that has difficult time staying on task here. Or, oh, I forgot to mention this one. This is the biggest problem I have, is sometimes the students just don't want to give up the iPad, and that's why I really like this game time limit. I can't remember, it's like $1 or $2. It's really inexpensive. But have you used that one at all, game time limit?
I haven't, but it's a very big problem. Is that work time, play time for iPads is one of the most difficult lessons to learn for students. And so I agree with that need.
Definitely. I've used this one with a lot of kids that it would turn into a big power struggle about getting rid of the iPad. It freezes up the iPad to make it so that it's kind of the iPad's fault. So I'll show you it here, and then then we can talk about that just a second here. So basically what we have here is a timer. It kind of rolls up and down. You can set it all the way down to 1 minute, all the way up to, many hours. Not that we would probably be doing that. You can have your own passcode. I have my school district passcode is what I use. Now I hit start, and what it does, it starts the timer, but then what you do is you give it to the student then, and they can start navigating around, playing with some different apps, and doing what they would normally do. And I'm just going to kind of stall a little bit here because it's running down about 1 minute. And as we're doing that, I'm going to show you this one app. It's called My Button. It's really kind of fun. It's a Big Mac. It's the old start of the AT for me was the Big Mac, and how you would just push a button and it would say.
Yeah.
So I've got a button here. It's just you touch it and you would say it says hip hip. It's kind of a fun one. It's really customizable. It's really fun. You can actually edit the button, put in a totally different photo, choosing from your photo library. I could pick this pencil. I put a pencil on there, and then I could go back and I could change the text. There's kind of this D thing. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't know why that's there, so I'm going to take that out. I could change the size of the font, and I go back. And so it's really, and you can change and make it one of their sounds, or you can use one. Oh, time's up, guys. So now look I can't interface with my game anymore, and it gives me a verbal cue that says time's up, and there's a visual that says time limit, and you can hear it saying time's up. You can still navigate around a little bit so the kid can do it, but it really, with this OS 5 update, it really changed a little bit, but it still works out well. I just hit stop alarm, and then I can hit stop, and then I enter in my code. and I put in my school district. I just don't want the students to see it because they will learn that very fast. The trick with OS 5 to make it work on OS 5 is you got to go to settings and you got to change the app alert on it here. So it's the notifications. You go here in the settings. I'll slow down here. Make sure you can see that. I'll just make sure you can see that little arrow here. It's settings. Touch that, and then you go into notifications, and you go pull down, find game time limit, or time limit, I guess it's called, time limit, and then this is where you'll see the alert style. What I chose was the alert that shows up in the middle and said there's none, banners, and then alerts. I chose alerts, and then I chose sound on so that it gives the verbal time's up, and then I also put it in the lock screen so it just shows up whenever even if the iPad is locked. So really nice feature. That's the one I put on all of the iPads I give out just to make sure that everybody had, I just think that's a huge issue to give up the iPad, and I don't want the iPad to turn into a power struggle when it's supposed to be helping out in the classroom. So really nice app, time limit.
Yeah. And if you start from the beginning with using that app from the very beginning when using it with students, it's just almost like they don't know any different. Okay, it's time up, and that just means it's not going to work anymore. So, kind of setting that precedence, I can imagine really helps with the situation.
Definitely. That's the hope, at least. So we'll see if that works. So I'm going to show you a couple more here. Timer, very simple one. It's just like the old silent timers a lot of people are using for autism. Just to back up here, it's called VisTimerFree, or VisTimer free. Touch it, and it's just a nice pie-shaped timer that many people use. And so I'll go here, reset, and it puts it as a full orange circle. I hit start, and then it's going to start dropping down here. So you'll see it, the timer as it opens up, and then when it goes all black, then you're done. Really nice features, a lot of changes you can make on it. You can change the, whoops, missed that one here. Let me pull back. Don't hit that button here. We're going to go back to that. We're going to go, so you can have a different sound at the end. When it goes off, it can make one bell, it can make 3 bells, or it can make no sound, just like the true visual timers that we've seen so many times. But when I check the X, next time it wouldn't make any noise. But there's a whole bunch of songs, as you can see here. Quite a few different sounds, so kind of fun, keeps it novel. A lot of times that kind of keeps the kids focused, so it's not just that noise that they've learned to just kind of not listen to anymore. You can choose to have early warnings so that, if it's over a minute, it'll give a minute warning before, 2 minute, 3 minute, but you can only choose one of those, but it's still a nice little option, something to play with. You can change the color of the circle. You can add some digital display so you can see the timer when it's going down, and you can disable the sleep mode just like on your alarm clock. So that's a really nice simple tool that many people have already been using, and this is just a way to make it on the iPad. So there's a nice one there. One more I'm going to show you here is called, let me see my notes here. Whoops, let me see where it's at here. It's called, where'd it go? Visual schedule, where is that? I'm going to pause the show here. Oh, maybe I won't. I'm just going to run. There it is. I just got to slow down. Okay, so it's called VisQ Lite. Boy, you'll have to see here, Carl Peter, what you think, how clear this show is coming out, if it's going to work. But so VisQ Lite. There we go. That works out okay. So VisQ Lite. It's a really nice interface for a lot of situations for keeping kids on task and just the visuals. So here's a visual cue. As simple as it's just a way to present a picture that is kind of just a cue of what's going to happen for them here. Whoops, let me get that out of there. So a lot of different things. You can actually customize it and put your own picture in there. So I'm just showing you that that's a way. There's a lot of different pictures you can put in. That's the simplest one. Then which one? It gives them choices, so you could touch 2 things. Which ones do you want? This one or this one? It's a way to nicely put 2 pictures on the same page or 3 pictures on the same page. Not easy to do with just what comes standard on the iPad. So this is a nice simple interface for that. And let me go back to the home here. I'm touching the home button. Visual schedule. Nice way to kind of put some things in order here. And then you can actually just have a picture schedule that you can kind of flip through. So as You can't see very well, Carl Peter, but I'm flipping through the pictures in a nice way, and it's just the pictures I want. It's not the whole photo album, and you could maybe do that in a photo album, but this kind of customizes it just a little bit more. So that's VisQ Lite we're still looking at.
Nice.
What's that? So we've got this.
That sounds like a good tool.
Yeah, and then we've got a few more options here on the other side. We got first then. You can do the whole first then thing. So we could say first, we're going to play in the playground. And then second, I just touch over here on this little picture. Second, then you'll see Mr. Sumner. What a joyous day, huh? Couldn't get any better. So it's a nice simple way to put two pictures together and use the first then language. And this is kind of a fun one. Count up or count down. You could say, hey, you're going to have to do, 10 push-ups and then you get to go outside. So you touch this and you have a nice picture, whatever you want in the background.
2.
And it gives the audio, every time you touch it,
3.
it gives a new star, and it gives the audio and the visual
4.
of the new star coming on. So it's a nice
5,
way to kind of
6, 7,
motivator to
10.
get them through, keep them on task. And then they have a nice explosion, a little extra, whoops, little extra. Wow, I've never even seen that. It's like kind of fireworks at the end. It kind of makes it, just keeps it fun for the student here. And then the visual timer and the countdown is just the opposite direction. Start with 10, drop down. And you can customize all these to whatever you want to for seconds. Visual timer is pretty cool. So you put your own face, whatever you want, whatever picture, and then you can set the timer for 1 minute up to, I can't remember, quite a bit. You touch it, and then the clock starts moving, and then it starts showing you more of the picture of, say, what's going to come next. So there's a picture of me. So when the timer's up, then you have to go see Mr. Sumner. So it's kind of a fun little option. I'm going to show you the settings here so you can see. You can make it so it's only labels, no pictures. You can have it play sounds or not play sounds. You can have it count up or down, and you can change it so you're counting up to 5, 10, or 20. And then seconds to go on the visual timer. You can go up to 1 hour, 30 minutes, down to 5 seconds. And there are so it's a nice little feature. This is the free version, so I'm sure the paid one does a lot more. And you touch this here, and you've got a whole manual right at your fingertips, and it's not too long. That's kind of a nice thing. So those are kind of some quick apps just to show you for the students that have a difficult time paying attention. So I'm going to see if I can pause this thing here now, and hopefully we've been recording because I don't quite see it. We'll see if I was just talking to myself in the dark there. Nope, looks like I was on.